If you're posting photos and videos on Lemon8, you understand that you need to match the aesthetic of the app. Right now, it's very much Pinterest meets lifestyle vlogger YouTube thumbnails, and you have to bring these elements into the graphics that you are designing to go on the app. Otherwise, you are not going to get people to stop the scroll and look at your content. But how do you do that in a free capacity? We're breaking down 2 videos, today's and tomorrow's, helping you to design this inside of the app today and tomorrow outside of the app in a free capacity. So this is going to allow you to design directly inside of the app today, and tomorrow's is going to be all about a little more freedom, a little bit more creativity outside of this app. So hit that subscribe and notification bell for both of these videos. Now, everything we learned today also applies to tomorrow, so make sure you listen and take notes because this is going to be important for your success on this app. So when it comes to Lemon8, we have a very specific vibe. You're going to notice a lot of words on your imagery. This is going to get people's attention and tell them what they are going to be seeing. If they clearly understand what your video or your photo is about, they're going to stop and they're going to look if it's applicable to them. You're also going to notice a lot of negative space, a lot of blank space in this image so that people can see very clearly and very streamlined what they're going to be learning about inside of your album or inside of your video. So it's very important to make sure you're matching these vibes. Now, inside of this app, it's very easy to do. They've even created templates for you. So down at the bottom, you are going to see a little yellow plus button. You're going to tap on that and pick the image that you are going to be using. Now we are going to take a look at their templates. This also applies if you are not using the template. So follow along. You're going to click on template and they're going to have options for you. You are going to be able to click on this and you're going to be able to see that it has several different types of fonts and layouts that you can be using. All of these are customizable. So we're going to take a look at how to do this. And this applies whether you are putting in text and doing it all yourself or if you are using one of their graphics that they've already designed for you. Once you find one that you like, you're going to click on the check mark button and it's going to move forward to where you can now customize these things. So this is very easy to do. To move these around on screen, all you're going to do is tap on it. It's going to highlight one of the boxes and you'll be able to drag it around on screen, left, right, up, down. We can also rotate it, but we'll get to that in a minute. We are going to tap on the bigger one and we're going to move that as well. Sometimes you'll want to move the bigger one on top. Sometimes you'll want the bigger one on the bottom. Just depends on what you're going for that particular image that you are creating. Now, keep in mind, you can do this for your photos, and when you're done, you can add a second photo to your carousel. You can do these one at a time. If you're doing this for your thumbnail on your video, you're going to post your video first, then you're going to come back and you are going to be able to do the thumbnail once the video has gotten to the point where you're putting in the captions. So now we are going to go ahead and we are going to take a look at how to rotate this. So you are going to see on the one that is highlighted, on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little dual arrow button. If you tap on that, that is going to allow you to move this bigger, smaller. You're going to make it bigger font size. You're also going to be able to rotate that wherever you need. So wherever you need this to be, you can adjust it in your imagery. Now to change the color, you are going to be able to tap on the pencil, which is on the top right-hand corner. When you do that, now you can customize this. So you can pick a color that is going to match or is going to stand out. If you have a light background, you want a darker color. If you have a dark background, you want a lighter color to make it stand out. We're just going to run with this because it's easy to see, but this is not the color I would go for as I was designing this graphic. So with that in mind, I now have the ability to also change my font. If I don't like this one, I can play with one of the others. Sometimes you will find some of these fonts, if you have upper and lowercase letters, just simply doesn't look good. It will or could potentially look better if you capitalize all of your letters or lowercase all of your letters. So don't be afraid to try different versions of this. Just because it doesn't look good now doesn't mean it can't. This is not the best example because it's permanently capitalized, but you get the idea. So you're going to be able to go through, pick whichever one works best for you. And when you're designing something like this, if you have 2 lines of font, which I highly recommend, is really good for catching people's attention, you're going to want to have 2 different fonts. Usually your bigger font will be more of a bold, blockier letter. Your smaller font is going to probably be italicized. It's going to have a thinner line to it. You can see how it's already pre-designed for you. This is a really great way to get people's attention. That difference that complements what's going on and draws the attention to specific places and then allows them to learn a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to change that color as well. Again, you do have the ability to change the fonts. Now, you can actually change the direction of this. So this is going to be really cool. Look down at the direction button. This is the horizontal version. You also have the ability to create it so it goes up and down vertically, or the little arches actually act as a little bit of an umbrella. So this will arch your words and you can put it up and down, and you do have a blend so you can actually change it. So you can make it more, you can make it a little bit less, you can even make it go the opposite way and put it back below, depending on what you need for your image. So this is going to be a really easy way for you to be able to do this. And then, of course, you also have your alignment buttons. It will adjust it to the left, to the right, or to center based on what you are doing. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to move this back to our straight line across. And when I'm done, you can see that little check mark right by where the words are. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that. And we are good with our fonts. Now, again, I'm showing you how to do this. This is not how I would post this. This is just for example's sake. Make sure you're looking at what is going on inside of the main feed and copying those vibes, those aesthetics. You want to go very curated magazine look for this. Now, the next thing you have access to is Retouch. This will give you access to filters. As always, we do not recommend using filters. These will make it look like filters and not look like professional content. Don't ever use filters. You can, however, adjust this in a much better way. So you can see we've got filters, but we also have the adjust button down at the bottom right-hand side. We're going to click on adjust, and this is where you actually want to retouch your photos. So you will have access to your contrast. Do not go too far or it's going to look like a filter. Do not take it away too far or again, it's going to look like a terrible filter. When you're happy with it, you're going to click on the check mark button and you have the ability to go through and you can warm it up so it's a little bit of a warmer tone, a little bit of a cooler tone. If you've got winter photos, drag it down a little bit. This blue tone makes it look a little more wintry. The warmer tones make it look a little more fall or autumn, or sometimes a little more summery, depending on what you're doing. But you want to go for a natural look. Remember, this is all about that natural, vibrant aesthetic. So we do not want you to look too yellow or too blue. We want it to look like your natural skin tones. Bright, airy, and dreamy is what people like on this app. So you're going to be able to go through, adjust your brightness, your contrast, saturation, warmth, sharpness, and your particle. And when you're happy, you're going to click on that check mark and you'll be good to go. Now, you do have the ability to tag different products in here, so that's available to you, but that's not what we're doing in Design World here. You do have the ability to do text. So if you did not want to do the templates, this is where you could add in your text. But once again, they also have some layouts for you. So there are options here that you can go through. Again, you can go through your fonts, you can go through your customization. All of those tools are there, just depending on if you want to use their templates or not. Now, you also have the ability to use stickers. Their stickers right now are very limited, but they do perform well on the platform. So you'll notice those color tab stickers, those will show up a lot on people's imagery. So you're going to take that and you're going to put it somewhere, probably up at the top, because people like color palettes. If you are doing what to wear, if you are doing office design, if you're doing home decor, this is going to be very helpful for you in terms of that color palette. It's just going to be something that's aesthetically pleasing and people understand. So highly recommend that you're using it when appropriate. Don't put it in all of your designs. If it's on every single one of your designs, unless you're a designer, that is overboard and we do not want to do that. So use it sparingly and use it wisely. You can also create a magnifier. There are multiple options for your magnifiers there to kind of grab one section of what you are doing. Again, you're going to be able to make it bigger, smaller, whatever it happens to be. You can move it around. So it kind of zooms in on that. That's probably not the best version of where that potentially could be, but you have options here. So, you know, if we were talking about the really cool headboard here, I would be able to zoom in a little bit so that people can see the pattern a little bit better. I could make sure that it's straightened or not straightened, and then I can get rid of it if I do not want that. You can see it had a lot of options with that one. You also have the ability to customize a sticker as well, going into your camera roll to add in more stickers. So when we're happy with this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on that button. Now, another thing that you can be doing here is cutting yourself out. So removing your background entirely. This will do it for you, but it is a very crude version of it. So let's take a look at how this is going to work. If you do have to cut something out, I do recommend Photoshop. I do not necessarily recommend this because it is very, very crude, but if it's what you have, we work with what we have. Just do your best on this one. So with this, you have Smart Cutout, Stroke, and Eraser. I do recommend jumping into Smart Cutout. It's going to identify where the human is, and they're going to cut out that little bit. So it grabbed me, it grabbed the computer. I'll be floating in air. And you can kind of see it has a little bit of some of this on some of the other places as well. So if it did get on, the corners, you can kind of see where the yellow is. I clicked on the eraser tool and I'm just erasing anything I don't want. Now you can actually zoom in a little bit on your brushes so you can get a little more refined, a little less refined. If you need to add something in, you're going on stroke, and you can kind of see how that works there. And then if you don't like something, hit the undo button. It's that little arrow on the left-hand side. So we're just going to go back, and you can refine that. So you can erase where it is, and you can add it in where you need to. When you're happy with it, now you're going to go ahead and click that little arrow button in the bottom right-hand corner, and that is going to give you that option. Now, from here, you can add a background. You can either do a solid color, and you can see where it missed a lot of it. This is why I recommend doing this in an outside app, but you have the ability to do it here. Or if you don't want that, you can actually add a background from your photos. So if you click on the add background, you can go into your camera roll and pull something else out. Now, you probably don't want to be cutting things out if it's a small thing. If you are up close and you want to do like a magazine, so you've got something like this, you could easily cut this out right here. And that would be okay with a solid colored background or with another background from your camera roll, but I don't necessarily recommend doing it on an image like this. Now, if you're happy, you're going to go ahead and click that check mark. I'm going to go ahead and say exit, and that's going to bring me back to where I was. Now, from here, I can tweak things. I can add things up at the top corner. You can see the top right-hand corner. You have the ability to add another photo. So you can go through this again to create your carousel. But these are very easy ways for you to create something that's going to match the vibes and the aesthetics of the app. Now, keep in mind, you are starting with your own base. If you do not have a strong base image, you are still not going to be able to level up to where it is. So right now, with the way that this is, I would have to go in and refine it. Those colors don't match. The way that it's listed, not so great. I would go in and tweak this to look better on the platform. Bright colors, airy colors, warm tone colors work really, really well. We're also looking for minimalist things like this. So this color background, but more of like the black and like neutral colors as opposed to the reds and those bright floralies. You want something that's going to match. So if you do not start with a strong base image, it's still not going to vibe or gel with the platform. So you have to make sure you're starting with a strong image first, then designing it in. So again, colors matter. Your color patterns matter. And then the way you're putting your text on screen matters. So make sure you're doing a little bit of setting before you jump into this. But tomorrow, we're also going to be talking about how you can be doing this in an outside app that is free to everybody. Everybody can design it, and it's actually a little bit more effective than Canva is. So if you're a Canva user, I'm actually going to help you elevate this a little bit. We're going to be using another program that's available to all of you. It's super easy to use, and it's going to help you with this. So to make you a little bit higher end, a little more creative freedom, and a little bit more of an elevated look with what you're creating. So hit that subscribe notification bell. I will see you again tomorrow for our brand new episode. And we're going to be talking about how the algorithm on Lemon8 works, how you're going to be able to succeed and grow your platform, because right now it's brand new, which means any of us can become the Lemon8 stars. We can become the famous ones because there's not a ton of people there yet. This is your moment. Now is the time to jump in. We've already talked about how to use this app. We have talked all about how frequently you should be posting. We have talked about different features that you might not know about. So make sure you watch the other episodes. There's a full playlist on how to succeed on Lemon8. We're going to continue to roll these out to help you to level up and beat the competition so that you can be the famous star before everybody else jumps into it. I'll see you in the next episode, and drop any questions on Lemon8 down below.